Today is a big day. Today, we are going to be covering the very first custom origin we've created for Project Stevorium, the Sparker. I'm sure 90% of you know this, but in case you don't, this is a custom origin for my upcoming Project Stevorium. The project's goal is to turn the regular Minecraft Origins experience into an RPG-style update. The Stevorium project will have a constant flow of new and exciting, evolving origins, and today I am so pleased to finally present to you the Sparker. The Sparkers are electrical berserkers who use the power of Voltra to hack and slash their ways across the battlefield in a blur of speed, damage, and accuracy. Right now, the Sparker origin and Project Stevorium is in an alpha, and the only people who know the details and who are going to be able to get first dibs and be able to try out the origins first are our donators. However, our developer has agreed to release it to the public if we hit 800 likes on this video. These origins are incredibly complex and more detailed than 90% of the custom origins you see on YouTube right now. If you're interested in these origins and you'd like to support us, please consider subscribing and dropping a like on this video. It really helps us so much with creating content and keeping our motivation high for further Stevorium development. And if you'd like to straight up donate, my Ko-Fi link is in the description. 100% of the funds goes to the project. I don't pocket any of it. It goes to commissioning the developer, and then it goes to server upgrades. So it's 100% going right back to the community. So let's get into how these custom evolving origins work. They follow the same format, so it's really important you understand how they operate. If you'd like a more detailed guide, please check out our first project update video from a few days ago. The Sparker is an exclusive origin to the electric elemental god Voltra. If you pick the water element or the fire element, for example, you're not going to be able to use the electric origins. If you choose to worship Voltra at the start of the game, you will have two origin options. The Electrocutionist, which is what most would consider an electric sorcerer, someone who throws lightning bolts at their enemies, and the Sparker, which is what we'll be going over today. If you choose to worship Voltra, she grants you feats of her electric grace. However, this does come with downsides. What I'm about to describe to you right now are common traits. Common traits are abilities that are associated with your element and affect all origin options of that element. The abilities I'm about to read affect all electric origins, so these passives and abilities affect both the Electrocutionist and the Sparker. I'm sorry for being thorough, but it's very important that you understand that concept. It's extremely relevant to the Stevorium project. The first common trait is Golden. This is a positive ability that enhances golden equipment for all disciples of Voltra. Gold is an extremely conductive metal in real life, so it has some bonuses like extra speed, extra damage, and unlimited durability. The next common trait is Lightning Speed. You are much faster with no armor, lighter armor, or golden armor. This ability scales negatively with heavier armor, which basically means the heavier armor you put on, diamond or netherite, the slower and weaker you become. The next common trait is Grounded. This is a drawback for all electric origins. It makes it so standing on natural stone weakens you over time, the same way electricity has little to no effect on stone in real life. The next common trait is a big one, Voltra's Bolts. This drawback states that Voltra must be able to see you in order to help you summon lightning. Any abilities that summon lightning must be in direct sight of the overworld sky. This means that any lightning abilities won't work underground. Lightning can't just phase through stone and dirt and hit something deep underground. It just doesn't work that way. It won't work inside a house or any place with a roof above your head, like if you try and use it under a tree or something like that. It also won't work in the Nether since there's no sky there. A different god controls the end, and Voltra has no dominion there, which means lightning won't work in the end either. The last common trait is Brownout. Your abilities have much faster cooldowns compared to the other origins and the other elements, but they use food to operate. Electric origins have very high metabolism, which means they burn food faster even when they're not doing anything. If your hunger drops too low, you are debuffed with weakness, mining fatigue, and blindness. Again, I would like to reiterate in case you weren't listening that these are common traits. That means any origin that uses the electric element has these abilities, and they're not really Sparker specific. However, they're still very important to the Sparker design. When you spawn into a new world, you start with just your common traits. And you may be able to see from what I just said, they're not exactly overwhelmingly positive, and they're not for any element. Usually the common traits are difficult. However, with Stevorium, you must earn your positive abilities. You must gain favor from your god to start evolving to your more powerful and ultimate abilities. This can be achieved in any order, so I'm just reading them the way they're written, but if you see one that you'd like to go to first when you start your own world, you can do that. Let's start with the first one on the list, Conductor. This ability is unlocked after you've killed a drowned, and it enables you to do a good boost of damage while you're wet. That includes water, rain, or water attacks from enemies. If you didn't know, water amplifies the strength of electricity in real life, so that's the reasoning behind this ability. The next evolution you can get is Smite. After you've killed a regular zombie, all of your melee attacks always have the Smite enchantment. This is a really nice bonus when fighting undead mobs, or perhaps undead players who have chosen the undead element. The Sparker's first active ability is Charge. This is bound to your primary ability button, and it's unlocked once you've crafted a lightning rod. Activate this ability to strike yourself with lightning to charge yourself. You move really quickly during charge, so you appear invisible to anyone without lightning fast reflexes. You gain speed 2, fire resistance, and strength for the duration. However, this does burn 4 bars of hunger to use. The Sparker has another passive ability called Lightning Speed. Now you may remember from before, Lightning Speed was a common ability. This is because this is a direct upgrade or evolution to that common ability. Once you drink a potion of swiftness, all heavier armor has no negative effects on you. This is a huge bonus for the Sparkers because it lets them immediately become much more tanky and threatening in melee combat. So in case you missed it and you didn't quite follow that, the Sparker has an ability called Lightning Speed, and it completely removes the downside of the Lightning Speed ability that's the common trait that both the Electrocutionist and the Sparker are affected by. The Sparker is a berserker, so it makes more sense for them to be wearing heavier armor in combat. That's why we did this. The last ability is the ultimate ability. This ability is gained after killing the Ender Dragon, and every single origin in Stevorium has an ultimate. The Sparker's ultimate ability is called Overcharged. Similarly to Charged, you strike yourself with lightning. However, in this ability, you fully saturate and fully heal yourself. You get speed 2, strength, regeneration, and fire resistance upon activation. The best part is this is a completely separate ability from the Sparker's regular charge, which means you can use them over top of each other and you can overlap your buffs if you time it correctly. Playstyle. The fully evolved Sparker is a menace when it comes to melee combat. If you're good with a sword or an axe and you want to be fast, strong, while having the ability to sustain your health and food in a pinch, these guys are for you. When it comes down to short and heated exchanges with mobs, players, or bosses, no one beats the Sparker when they're charged up and thirsty for blood. Although the Sparkers are probably the strongest in melee one-on-one combat, probably 1v2 combat, it's important to pick your battles. As you know, probably the biggest drawback of the Disciple of Voltras or the electric element is that they can't use lightning unless they are in direct sight of the overworld sky. This means their lightning abilities, so for example the Sparker, that's their charge and overcharged abilities, are locked to the overworld. And sometimes they can't even be used in the overworld. Lightning can't go through stone or go through a house's roof magically, it just doesn't work like that. You need to have a clear sight of the overworld sky. However, when it comes to overworld combat, especially in the rain or in a thunderstorm, you are unmatched. Being wet gives you a huge increase in damage, so be sure to use that bonus when you can. As far as an element lineup, the electric element isn't really weak to anything besides the ground. You are incredibly effective against the water element, and your lightning leaves fire behind, which is super effective against the nature element. The Sparker also has Smite attached to their attacks, which is quite effective against the undead element too. The Sparker is an extremely versatile fighter with very few elemental weaknesses. If you pick your battles and you fight smart, the Sparkers are likely the hardest origin to take down in the entire game. Well, that's it. I really hope you enjoyed this video and the Sparker. This custom origin would not be possible without our developer, Mega. You can get in contact with Mega on the Discord if you have any questions, or you can just ask the team questions because I'm sure we'd all love to answer them. If you'd like to donate to the project and get early access, please make sure to check out my Ko-Fi page in the description. As I mentioned, 100% of the proceeds are going to development and server upgrades. I'm not taking any of that money. If you don't want to donate with cold hard cash, that's absolutely fine. As I said, if this video hits 800 plus likes, Mega will release the entire electric element publicly. That includes the Sparker and the Electrocutionist. Please consider subscribing and dropping a like on this video. Your support means more than you could ever know as we take on this massive project. Thank you so much for watching, and we hope you're excited for Project Stevorium. Expect the Electrocutionist custom evolving origin video in a week or so. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.